All right, take two, because I dropped the cell phone and it turned off. Here's my diecast model turned to RC. Opening doors, opening closing tailgate, and opening hood, right? If you haven't followed along with any of the other previous videos, I'll go over a brief recap right here. It's a custom made aluminum chassis, bonded and screwed to the plastic chassis that came with this diecast model. It first started life obviously as a diecast model to sit on your shelf and look pretty. And at one point in its life, I converted it into a drift truck. I had to use a helicopter receiver board and transmitter to power the rear wheels only, and it didn't have reverse for obvious reasons, right? Helicopters don't have reverse. So that became a pain in the ass. Quite fun. It worked out pretty well, except for when you got stuck in a corner somewhere, you couldn't back out. So now the next step of evolution is to make it into a crawler. I made a custom-made transfer case, powered by a 130 size motor, and a custom gear selection that just happened to find some gears that mesh together. Made the case, and then I was breaking plastic U-joints on the rear side. Never broke one on the front, broke them on the rear, or they'd fall apart, they'd separate on the rear. So I made some brass U-joints, and that solved the problem. Now I'm experiencing a different problem. Let's see if you can see the color there. The next problem that I'm having now is the motor's turning, the gears are turning, but the shaft is not spinning. And let me explain why that's happening. If this gear was inside there somewhere, what I did is I simply drilled a hole approximately 2.8 millimeters, and I took a 3 millimeter shaft and I stuck it in the hole, except it wasn't that easy. I had to physically push it in there pretty hard and tap it in with a hammer, and I thought that would be good enough. I thought the gear ratio was good enough where this would never be an issue. So the motor's spinning one gear, the spur gear, reduction gear, and then it's grinding up against another gear, which is this one right here, or that one right there technically. But it's just, the shaft is not spinning. So the shaft is freewheeling on the gear, or the gear is freewheeling on the shaft. So it's not transmitting any power to the rear differential or the front differential. Long story short, this transfer case is not designed to come apart. This is, I used what's called a plastic weld, or MEK for another description, what they used to call it. Right. Custom bent, custom formed. All right, this stuff works really good. Better than super glue when joining plastic pieces together. What I should have did is drill a hole through the shaft and then grind a slot through the gear, like right through here, and then out the other side where this reduction gear can ride on and transfer torque to the shaft. I didn't do that because I never thought this truck would I never thought this truck would make enough power to strip the shaft from the gear. It still rolls out fine on a smooth floor, but over rough terrain, going uphill, I'm not getting any power to the rear or front differentials. So the gear is just spinning and the shaft is not turning. So there is no fix for that as of right now. I'm not interested in trying to fix it. That is that. So just to kind of recap a little bit, you might see this hot glue around in different places. You'll see it up in there, maybe hard to see, but there's hot glue. Hot glue is just temporary. It is not good for really anything other than to hold something temporarily. So you can put a screw here, a screw there, a screw here, one there, one there, and then there's a couple more in the front that you can't see, obviously. So that's why you see hot glue there. Custom suspension. All right, worked out pretty well. Opening doors, opening hood, opening, closing tailgate. 400 milliamp hour battery was sitting back here. 130 size motor. Again, custom transfer case, custom made motor mount, and well, it was a good attempt. I just didn't think things through far enough. I should have went ahead and gone all out. I just didn't think that this would ever make enough power to strip the gear from the shaft. That's all. So if you attempt something like this, be sure to try and unlock your gear to the output shaft in some sort of way. But other than that, I am done with this project. I don't think I'm ever going to go back to it. I do one day want to make a vacuum former, and make a mold of that body and make a lightweight version of that body. Other than that, have a good day.